Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Bela Alizzah, and I'm pleased to have the opportunity to speak with you about inside the computer and introduction to the internal components of a computer. Before we begin, let me briefly outline what I'll be covering in this presentation. First, I'll talk about introduction. Computer is a powerful electronic machine that helps us complete various tasks. It can perform calculation, store information, and run different types of software. Every computer is made up of two main parts: hardware, the physical components, and software, the program that gives instruction to the hardware. In the presentation, we will focus on the hardware, the parts we can see and touch inside the computer. Next, main computer of a computer. Inside a computer, there are several key components that work together to make the system function properly. These include motherboard, the main circuit board, CPU or central processing unit, the brain of the computer, RAM or random access memory, temporary memory, storage device, the files and software, power supply unit or PSU, provides electrical power, graphics processing unit or GPU, handles visual, cooling system, keeps the system from overheating. Each of these plays a unique and important role. Next, motherboard. This is a sample. The motherboard is the main circuit board inside the computer. It is the central hub that connects all the other components. The CPU, RAM, storage drives, and expansion cards are all plugged into the motherboard. It also contains chips or connectors that allow the components to communicate with each other efficiently. Without the motherboard, the parts of the computer would not be able to work together. And then the CPU or central processing unit. The CPU, also known as the processor, is often referred to as the brain of the computer. It processes instructions from software and performs calculations that allow programs to run. The speed and performance of a CPU can greatly affect how fast computer works. Popular CPU brands include Intel and AMD. A faster processor means the computer can handle more tasks at once and respond more quickly to commands. Next, RAM or random access memory. RAM is a type of temporary memory that stores data while the computer is on. It allows the system to quickly access data that is actively being used by open programs and processes. The more RAM a computer has, the more tasks it can handle at the same time without slowing down. However, all data in RAM is erased when the computer is turned on. Next, storage device. Computer use storage device to save data, programs, and the operating system. There are two main types: hard disk drive or HDD use finding dictionary and write data. It has large storage capacity and is more affordable but slower. And then stack drive our SSD. Use flash memory to storage data. It's much faster and more reliable, but usually more expensive. The storage device allow the computer to retrieve data even after it's turning on. Next, power supply unit or PSU. The power supply unit or PSU converts electricity from your wall outlet into a form that the computer can use. It distributes power to all internal components such as the motherboard, CPU, and storage device. Without a power supply, none of the components in the computer can operate. It is important that the PCU provides enough power to support all the hardware inside the computer. Next, graphics processing unit or GPU. The GPU processing unit or GPU is responsible for rendering image, video, and animation on your screen. Some computers use integrated graphics or built in the CPU, while others use dedicated graphics cards for better performance. A powerful GPU is especially important for gaming, video editing, 3D design, and other graphic-intensive tasks. Next, cooling system. Computer generates heat when they are operating, especially the CPU and GPU. The cooling system helps prevent the system from overheat. There are different types of cooling, including fans, blow cool or gas, steam, metal, phases that absorb and treat heat. Liquid cooling use liquid to move heat away from components, but cooling ensures the computer runs smoothly. And the last, port and connector. The motherboard and other components have various ports and connectors that allow the computer to connect with an external device. Common ports include USB, universal serial bus for keyboard, mouse, flash driver, HDMI atau High Definition Multimedia Interface for connection monitor or TV, audio jacks for headphone and speaker, Ethernet port for wide internet connection, power connection to supply and connect to the system, and the ports are essential for expanding the computer functionality. Then we'll move on to software and operating system. Understanding the core components of modern computing. Next. Introduction to software and operating system. Software is a set of instructions that tell the hardware what to do. An operating system or OS is system software that manages hardware and software research. Without software and hardware is not functional. The category of software. System software as device drives utility, application software, web processor, browser, media players, programming software, compilers, editor, and debuggers. What is an operating system? Operating system is system software acting as a bridge between hardware and the user. Example, Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, iOS. Manage file, memory, and process. Core function, operating system, process management, is multitasking and process scheduling, memory management, desaggregation and optimizes file system, organize and manage data, device management, control, ERO device, security, authentication, and data protection. Popular operating system and their uses. Windows General Purpose Computing, macOS is creative industry, Linux Developer Server, Android mobile device, iOS Apple mobile device. Application software explain. Application software is designed to help the user perform specific tasks. Tips include productivity software is Microsoft Office, Google Workspace, media software, Adobe Photoshop, VLC Media Player, web browser, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, communication software, Zoom, WhatsApp, Slack. These app these apps require a compatible US to run properly and accessible. All software and operating system work together. The existing software runs on top of the operating system. That OS provides application programming interface or APLS to allow software to request hardware access. Example, when you open a web browser and play a video, the browser asks to OS use display, sound card, and internet connection. The OS ensures smooth and safe operation by managing permission, memory, and multitasking. Diagram suggestion the user, application, OS, and hardware. Modern term in software and operation system is called as US Google Chrome OS, alternative software, aka Google Docs, mobile first design, switch from desktop to mobile platform in development. Cross-platform compatibility apps now run on multiple OS, aka WhatsApp Zoom, open source, the revolution, OS like Linux and apps like LibreOffice Office gain attraction. All integration plus a system smart resource management in OS like Windows, Copilot, and Mac OS of future. That brings us to the end of the presentation. To summarize, we've looked at, I hope this presentation has given you some useful insight and a better understanding of computer. Thank you very much for your attention. Now I'd be happy to learn new education you might have. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.